Hey everyone, today we're going to review the entertainment that was on Enchantment of the Seas right after this. Hey everybody, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Welcome back to our channel. If it's your first time here, come on and join us. We are a travel agency that tries to give you some great information so that you can go on an amazing cruise vacation. So recently we were on the Enchantment of the Seas. And today we're going to review all of the entertainment options. So yesterday was a little rambly with the dining options. So I'm going to try to be a little more concise today and not go off the rails. So when you go on one of these smaller ships, so Enchantment of the Seas is an older ship from the 90s. It's getting pretty close to end of life. We'll talk about that more when we get into our full ship review. But today we're going to focus on the entertainment. One of the things that I think is critically important when you're on a smaller ship is the cruise director staff. And the cruise director staff they were a man down. They're kind of like number two behind Eric, who's the cruise director, was sick. Eric was sick the week before, so they were kind of struggling. But the cruise director staff was amazing. They were great. I love sometimes on the smaller ships, one of my favorite things is that the cruise director staff is much more visible. They're at the shows a lot more. You see them all around the ship. You're constantly meeting and interacting with them, way more so than on an Oasis or a Quantum class ship where you really kind of lose the cruise director. You don't really see them that much because their ship's so big and there's so many things to do, and it's impossible for them to be at the ice show and at the Broadway show and at this and that. So when there's only one or two options at night, you get to meet them and spend a lot more time with them. So when we got on the ship, we had very adequate expectations. And this is my kind of precursor to anytime you go on a cruise or any type of vacation or anything that you're doing, I really think it's important to have realistic expectations so that you are not like so disappointed or so amped up for something that's not going to happen. So obviously when you go on an Oasis class ship, there are a million things to do. There's Broadway shows, there's an aqua theater, there's an ice skating rink, there's rock climbing walls, there's a boardwalk that has a carousel and arcades and sports bars and bumper cars on some of the, all these different things you could do, ropes courses. There's a million things on the bigger ships. On the smaller ships, they don't have that. So if you're going on a cruise on an older ship and you're expecting it to be an Oasis class ship, you're not going to have a great time. So we heard a lot of people complaining at the end of the cruise, "Oh, I'll never go on this kind of cruise. I'll never go on Royal Caribbean again." Because they didn't have great expectations. They had great expectations. They didn't have realistic or adequate expectations. So we knew what we were getting into here. We know it's a smaller ship. We know it's an older ship. And we planned accordingly. We knew there wasn't going to be a ton of things to do. So we made the best of our experiences. So let's talk about the production shows first. Two major production shows on this ship. One is Can't Stop the Rock, Don't Stop the Rock. I keep screwing those up. And the other one is Stage to Screen. Both of those are pretty fun shows. There are weird parts of them. The shows are very old. I went to the Up Close and Personal with the entertainment staff. They even said the shows are very old. The choreography is very old. The music's very old. So they were still really good. The dancers were very good. The singers were very, very good. So no complaints. Both shows were really fun. Eric, the cruise director, introed and outroed both of the shows, kind of gave you the rundown of what else was going on the ship, the old school cruise director kind of role. And those shows were good. 45-minute shows, not boring. There are a couple like weird spots in both of the shows where you're like, I have no idea what this is. And that's totally fine. It was fun. We had a good time. For both of those shows, we sat in the balcony right to the side of the stage, like towards center, but towards the side. And we had a great time. The bar staff was great. No issues. The shows were crowded, which I was really surprised by. Theater holds, I think the theater held over 1,000 people, and it was pretty full for both of those shows. We went to see The Magician On a normal cruise, I refuse to go see magicians or comedians for that matter, right? I really love stand-up. And generally speaking, stand-up on the cruise ships does not appeal to me. It's usually not great. I've seen funny people. I've seen many more kind of bombs. And look, there's something to be said for going to a show that bombs is kind of fun too. Because it gets super awkward and I have no problem with secondhand embarrassment. Those are fun too. But generally I stay away from those shows. The Magician, however, usually it's the same like thing, right? We're on a cruise ship. They're not paying David Blaine to come in and do magic. So again, expectations. So my expectations were super low. Went to see the Magician. He was actually pretty good. He did a lot of like mentalist tricks and different things. So it was an enjoyable time. No issues there. That was a pretty good show. We did not go to see the comedians. I think both the comedy shows did like adult comedy late night. And we work early in the morning, so we generally don't stay up for like an 11 o'clock show unless it's something super compelling. So we did not do that. So no review on the comedians. The comedian did the intro show on the first night, but we were at dinner and dinner was very long, so we missed that show. So let's get into the other shows. The other shows where they had Bobby Brooks Wilson on, who is the son of Jackie Wilson, the R&B singer who passed away a long time ago, but had a lot of big hits. And he was pretty good. Put on a good show. There were some stories about his dad. He did some, it's a cabaret-ish kind of show. He's not Bruno Mars. He opened for Bruno Mars because Bruno Mars was like friends of the son of one of his friends. So look, again, expectations, people, right? I'm not going to see Josh Groban on the Enchantment of the Seas. So it was good. He put on a good show. It was entertaining. We had a fun time. So let's now get in. Those are the production shows. Let's get into the cruise director kind of shows. So there's Love and Marriage, and there is Majority Rules and Quest. Quest is a wild ride. I highly recommend you go to see Quest. It's 18 and older. And look, it's all, most of these shows are all going to depend on the people that you're on the cruise with. So sometimes they're really fun. Sometimes they're not. I would recommend going to Quest. It's a fun show. It's almost scavenger hunty. They put you into teams. I don't want to give it away. It's a fun show. Go check it out. Majority Rules was a lot of fun. It's basically they ask you questions and the majority rules, right? So the majority give the answer and that answer becomes the answer. So if they ask you, what's the best flavor of ice cream? And everybody says vanilla, right? So you kind of get the idea of it. We played categories with the cruise director staff. We played trivia with the cruise director staff. Those were really fun. Trivia is hit or miss. Sometimes there's 10 people there. Sometimes there's 100. The Harry Potter trivia was really crowded. And so those are really fun. Bingo, I will say, was $50. It was the cheapest you could play bingo for was $50. So that seems outrageous to me. But if you want to play bingo and you're down for that, again, like some people don't gamble in the casino. I spend money in the casino. Bingo for $50. I just wasn't down for it, but we went and sat there and watched him. Meg actually won one of the trivia contests, so she got a couple of free bingo sheets for the last day of bingo, which we didn't win. So I will come back to Love and Marriage. So the Love and Marriage show is a very traditional cruise ship show. If you've never seen it, basically they take one kind of newlywed couple that's on their honeymoon or have just recently gotten married. They take one couple that's been married maybe 15, 20, 25 years. And then there's always a few couples that are 55, 60 years married, and they're amazing. And usually you have the dichotomy of like the entertainment of the young couple that they really don't know each other yet. So there's a lot of fumbling there and funny stories. And then the older couples are really funny because they have like life wisdom and they're trying to remember their first date and all of those different things. So the format of the show is they basically the men answer questions with the women in the back, then the women answer questions, you've probably seen the show. So generally this is a pretty fun show and we go to this. It was a train wreck. So there was the middle couple. So the young couple was fine, no issues there. The older couple were just adorable. The middle couple were a little bit of a train wreck. So we are from Philadelphia. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I get Philly culture. And the people from Philly were like, the guy kept interrupting and was derailing the cruise director from the questions. And it's one of those things where I'm never a fan of people at a show who try to make the show all about them. So hecklers at a comedy show, or somebody who just needs attention. So we walked out of that show probably 20 minutes in because it was difficult to sit through because people. So, but that's just our opinion. Again, my opinion, right? We just didn't have a good time. All of us were like, this is not a great representation, especially of Philadelphia, which we already get a bad rap for having the worst fans and everything else. So we rolled out of that show. But normally that show's great. And we did a bunch of things with the cruise director staff. First of all, the egg drop, which was just fun. It's like a grade school thing. And it was, there's some things that are on a small cruise ship that are just really fun. And then the flash mob dance with Eric, the cruise director, was a ton of fun. The parade of nations, where they call out all the different nations for the people that are represented on the cruise ship, that was a blast. It was one of the best things that we saw on the cruise ship, which, again, expectations, right? So other than that, the entertainment was really good. We had fun every single night. There was something fun going on. We had a good time. No, there was no Hairspray or Broadway show. No, there was no Aqua Theater or ice skating show, but we had a good time every night on the cruise. So if you're thinking about going on Enchantment of the Seas, yes, it's an older ship. Yes, there's not a ton of things to do, but we had a blast every single night. So it's what you make of it. So go get on that ship and have a good time. I don't think it's going to be around too much longer. We'll dig into that on our ship tour. But other than that, thanks so much for checking this out. Again, I forgot to ask people to subscribe in the middle. I need like a prompt on the screen in front of me. So please subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. And we'll see everybody again. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.